Yes, hello viewers. Welcome back to another episode, Motivation Time with Ahewa Samuel. I am an author, business consultant, education consultant, and a research consultant, and an entrepreneur. Well, today's topic is about nurturing the ability to invest in opportunities, not problems, as one way of increasing results and also inspiring ourselves into understanding what are the vital viewpoints of considering in doing productive ends, whether in business, whether in career, whether in social life, whether in any endeavors. To start off, right from the last episode, which was talking about self-belief, next is understanding how we can discover opportunities. There is the Italian economist called Vilfredo Pareto, who in 1905, he watched with observation in his pea-pod farm project, and he discovered that 80% of the harvest he had got from that farmland when he planted peas, he discovered that they came from 20% of the pods which were from the harvest in which he had done his farming. And so the economist established that there are 20% of the things or the inputs that we have which always produce 80% of the results. And he discovered it economically. He put it in that way, and which today we call the vital view. 20% of the inputs that we have, in most cases, they are the ones which have produced 80% of the results that we have in life. I know each one of us, each one of you out there has achieved something in life. And it is very important to discover that 20% of those many results that you have got. And that is how you develop the ability to understand opportunities out of problems. Now, you see, when you see 20% of the inputs, you might think in business it means you have got a loss. No. It is very important that we always have the other vision, the ego's vision, placed on the 20% of where our 80% of the results of the successes we have in life. And this is where you're supposed to invest now all your time, all your energy, your talents, your skills, whether in anything that you're doing. And so that is what they call the vital view. Now, in considering the vital view is you have to understand that there was a loss. There are other things that didn't give us what we expected. So life is not 100%. We are definitely living in an imperfect world. We all do, we all make losses, we all experience lows in life, but there are around 20% of the friends that you have who give you a lot in life. And those are the ones you're supposed to invest in. When you come to discover that kind of thinking, you come to also discover that 80% of the good moods you have come from 20% of the things that you have done. And when you come to discover that you have 20% of the things that give you good moods, then you invest in that very 20% of the things that give you 80% of the good moods and good feelings. And this is where you multiply the opportunities. So the point is, how do we maximize the results that we have in life? Consider the 10%, or the 20% of those things which give you maximum results. And this is the only way you can match from losses, profits, and also understanding that you have to consider those 20% of the results to consider as your very most resourceful moments in life. And this is where you can get the perspective of life. The challenge comes in when we fall back into fit-in games. Most of us, we always want to fit in with our friends. We want to fit in with our cultures. We want to fit in with our religions. We want to be comfortable with those ones we call the Joneses. We don't need to be people pleasers in order to maximize most of the opportunities that we have got from whatever we have achieved. When you fall back into that pile of people who are doing pity parties, always seeing the negative, not focusing on the most vital 20%, then you will tend to be loose on coming to understand that life is not perfect, life is not fair, but everything can only be fair if we only understand the vital view and we base all our efforts, all our time, researching and considering all our investment in the 20% of the things we get maximum results, the 80%. And this is where the point of investing in opportunities, not problems, comes in. Let me quote the great Henry Ford, the founder of the Ford cars. He said, many people are spending useless time doing the things which they should never have not done at all. And this is the biggest problem. And also there is a professor of management called Professor Ferdinand Drucker, who said, there is nothing useless like doing something efficient which should not have been done at all. So the most people, we spend time pleasing others who are actually not even giving us the right time, the right resources, the right love. Most of us, some people want to be loved, some people want to get business opportunities. There are only 20% of the people who can give you money which can help you to start up a business. And there are also 20% of those opportunities or those meetings, which are very few, that you need in a day, in a single day. So it doesn't mean that you have to spend all the 24 hours in the day working so hard. That is what we call working smart. And this is where the point of understanding the keynotes which I make here. Great minds have purposes, not wishes. Once you survive from wishful thinking, or what we call wishcraft, then your brain will focus on those very vital 20% which give you a purpose. Then there is also another important issue. From chaos, there is always opportunity. Just like the Japanese Sun Tzu, who wrote that in every chaos there is an opportunity. Just as I talked about the 20% which bring 80%. 20% that give you 80% does not mean that you have failed in the field of whatever you're doing. It doesn't mean that you failed. You have only got the vital view. And this is where you get the way forward for investing time, and all these chances come. That's why many people talk about there is always a second chance. But the second chance will always come to these people who have the vital view. We have to focus our energy and our efforts and time and opportunities in the things that give us more of the results than we put input. In economics, we always talk about least cost. That is what we all only need, thinking smart. And this is where you will understand the art of getting purpose. That's number one. You will get vision, as we are talking about the vital view. So when you spend your 20% of the hours in one day, you will find that you only need a few hours to work around the clock and create results in your career, in your relationship, in your business, in your social relations, in anything you're doing. And so you only need to have the other vision of the vital view. Let me also quote Peter Drucker, again, who said, if you cannot predict the future, you create it. So, in this time now, we have an economic depression which is already looming from the Ukraine war, and all these are all over the world. So someone will say the economy is going to shut down. But in this chaos, someone is going to develop the vital viewpoint. In every recession, there is always the big number of people who always rise, and they take advantage of the opportunities which always come with the depression problems and the challenges. So problems, you have to understand that a problem only becomes bad if it overwhelms you and pushes you off the life stage, or takes away your platform for survival. But an opportunity keeps you sinking. So this is what the vital view always focuses on. If you cannot predict the future, if you don't know the future, surely no one is going to predict where the Ukraine war is going to take us today. No one is going to predict where the economy is going right now, but you can create a solution. The most important thing is now to understand that the 20% of the things that we are doing that are creating our 80% of the results as we are surviving in this economic hardship. And that is very possible. So it is very important that I refer you to my second edition of the books on anti-poverty empowerment. The second edition talks about the wisdom that comes with poverty. They're subtitled, The Responsibility That Comes with Being Poor. So even poor people have wisdom. Even in an economic recession, people are becoming billionaires. We all understand that in the last COVID lockdown, we have got the billionaires. It was written by Forbes that the billionaires increased wealth by over 10%. What does that mean? There are people who have the vital view, and the people who are not going to sleep, they are not going to stop using the little they have to increase the opportunities. You can always increase your opportunities. Get my second edition and also the volatility of doing business in Uganda. That is very important. Then you will understand how we can see opportunities, how you can also manipulate around the chaos that we have, the problems that we have, the challenges that you have, whether in business, whether in career, whether in any work schedule, to fix your situation. Thank you for following me. I ask you to follow me on my Twitter handle and also watch my next issue.